It starts so quietly, almost like a whisper in the background of your life. A slight tremble in your fingers when you reach for a glass of water. A stiffness in your legs that makes getting out of bed feel like an uphill climb. You tell yourself it's just age, nothing to worry about. But somewhere, deep down, there's a gnawing feeling that something isn't right. And by the time the words Parkinson's disease cross your doctor's lips, it feels as if time itself has slowed to a crawl. The life you knew, the freedom of movement, the ease of simple tasks suddenly feels like it's slipping away. But what if I told you that one of the most innocent habits, something you've been doing every single day without a second thought, could be quietly nudging you closer to this devastating condition? What if the very water you drink, or more accurately, how you hydrate, is part of the problem? This might sound hard to believe. After all, we're told to drink plenty of water to stay healthy. Stay hydrated, they say, as if it's the ultimate cure-all. But according to Dr. Alan Goldhamer, a renowned expert in natural healing and plant-based medicine, there's a hidden danger in our modern approach to hydration, one that could be quietly setting the stage for neurological decline. You see, the problem isn't just about drinking water. It's about what's in the water and how it affects the delicate balance of minerals in your body, particularly the minerals that protect your brain and nervous system. Our ancestors drank from pure, living springs, waters rich in natural minerals that nourished the body with every sip. But today, much of the water we consume has been filtered, processed, and stripped of these vital nutrients. And even worse, many people unknowingly replace pure water with drinks that dehydrate rather than nourish: coffee, sodas, artificially flavored waters, and even excessive bottled waters labeled as purified, which often lack the essential minerals your brain desperately needs. And this isn't just theory. Studies from the National Institutes of Health have shown that mineral imbalances, particularly low levels of magnesium and trace minerals like zinc and selenium, can directly impact the health of the substantia nigra, the area of the brain most affected by Parkinson's disease. When this region doesn't receive the nutrients it needs, dopamine-producing neurons start to die off. That's when the tremors begin. That's when the stiffness sets in. That's when life, as you knew it, begins to change forever. Dr. Goldhamer has witnessed this firsthand at his True North Health Center, where he helps patients reverse chronic diseases using fasting protocols and plant-based nutrition. One of the first corrections he makes isn't just about what people eat. It's about how they hydrate. Because proper hydration isn't about drowning your body in water. It's about restoring balance, ensuring that every sip replenishes the minerals that keep your nervous system functioning smoothly. But here's where most people make the critical mistake. They believe that more water is always better. They carry their oversized bottles everywhere, sipping compulsively throughout the day. But what they don't realize is that overhydration, especially with demineralized water, can dilute the very electrolytes their body depends on. It's called hyponatremia, and while severe cases can lead to hospitalization, even mild chronic electrolyte imbalances can have subtle but dangerous long-term effects on the brain. Think about it. Have you ever felt lightheaded after drinking a lot of water? Experienced muscle cramps despite being well hydrated? These are early warning signs that your body is losing more than just fluids. It's losing the essential minerals that protect your nerves, control your muscles, and support healthy brain function. So, what's the solution? It starts with understanding that true hydration means more than just drinking water. It means drinking mineral-rich water. That could mean incorporating naturally mineralized spring water into your routine, or simply adding a pinch of high-quality sea salt or electrolyte drops to your filtered water. And beyond that, it's about replenishing minerals through your diet, eating foods that naturally restore the electrolytes your brain and body crave. Leafy greens like spinach and kale, rich in magnesium, pumpkin seeds and lentils, packed with zinc, Brazil nuts, just 1 or 2 a day, to meet your selenium needs. These simple habits may seem small, but over time, they create a protective barrier against the silent creep of neurological decline. Dr. Goldhamer often says, "The body has an extraordinary capacity to heal when you remove the obstacles and provide the conditions for health. And sometimes, those conditions start with something as simple and as powerful as the way you hydrate." Now, take a moment. Look at the glass of water sitting next to you. Ask yourself, is this just water? Or is it medicine for my brain? At the heart of this conversation is a simple but profound truth. Your body isn't just a collection of organs. It's an intricate electrical system, with your brain as the master conductor. And like any electrical system, it depends on the right balance of minerals, electrolytes, to keep everything running smoothly. When those minerals fall out of balance, it's as if the wiring in your body begins to short circuit. Signals become weak, movements become shaky, and over time, the smooth, effortless coordination you once took for granted becomes a daily struggle. Imagine for a moment the way a battery works. Without the right electrolyte solution, the battery can't hold a charge. It fades, fails, and eventually dies. Your neurons work the same way. Without adequate minerals, particularly magnesium, potassium, calcium, and sodium, the electrical impulses that control your muscles, balance, and even mood begin to falter. And for those with a genetic predisposition or existing vulnerabilities, this imbalance accelerates the path toward conditions like Parkinson's. But let's make this practical. How can you apply this knowledge today to protect your brain and regain control over your health? It begins by making hydration a conscious, intentional act, not just a mindless habit. Start your day with what Dr. Goldhamer calls structured hydration. Instead of reaching for coffee or tea first thing in the morning, begin with a large glass of mineralized water. If you're using filtered water, add a small pinch of Himalayan pink salt or Celtic sea salt. These natural salts aren't just sodium, they contain over 80 trace minerals that your nervous system craves. Follow this with a nutrient-dense, mineral-rich breakfast. Consider a green smoothie packed with spinach, banana for potassium, chia seeds loaded with calcium and omega-3s, and a splash of coconut water, nature's perfect electrolyte drink. Not only does this flood your system with hydration, but it also delivers the critical nutrients that strengthen neuronal health. And don't forget to pay attention to the subtle cues your body sends you throughout the day. Dry mouth? Yes, but also muscle cramps, twitching eyelids, foggy thinking, and low energy. These are all signs that your nervous system is asking for support. And the solution isn't to guzzle more plain water, it's to restore mineral balance. One simple and effective method is to carry a small bottle of electrolyte drops. A few drops in your water throughout the day can make a world of difference. Or keep a small bag of roasted pumpkin seeds at your desk, a powerhouse snack rich in magnesium and zinc. Dr. Goldhamer also recommends including potassium-rich foods in your meals: avocados, sweet potatoes, and leafy greens to ensure that your cells stay hydrated from the inside out. Unlike processed sports drinks that flood your system with sugar and artificial additives, these natural sources support healthy hydration while nourishing your body at the deepest cellular level. And here's a powerful visual to remember every time you take a sip of properly mineralized water. Imagine it washing through your brain like a gentle, healing river carrying away the toxic buildup, replenishing vital nutrients, and restoring the calm, steady rhythm of your nervous system. This isn't just hydration, it's a daily act of self-healing. Now, let's take this a step further. What about the beverages that disrupt this delicate balance? You might be surprised to learn that some of your favorite drinks could be contributing to mineral depletion and increasing your risk of neurodegenerative diseases. Coffee, for example, is a double-edged sword. While it contains powerful antioxidants, it's also a potent diuretic. For every cup of coffee you drink, you lose more fluids and with them, critical minerals. This doesn't mean you have to give up coffee entirely, but it does mean you need to be mindful. For every cup of coffee, follow it with at least 2 cups of mineral-rich water to restore what's been lost. Alcohol is even more disruptive. Not only does it dehydrate, but it also interferes with your liver's ability to process toxins, leading to greater oxidative stress on the brain. And sodas, especially diet varieties, introduce a cocktail of artificial sweeteners and chemicals that can cross the blood-brain barrier, potentially affecting dopamine pathways directly. If Parkinson's has already touched your life, or the life of someone you love, these adjustments become even more critical. Every positive change you make, no matter how small, creates momentum, and that momentum can mean the difference between a life defined by limitations and a life reclaimed through healing and hope. So the next time you raise a glass, ask yourself, is this contributing to my healing or to my decline? In that simple question lies the power to change the course of your health and your life. Sometimes the hardest part of healing isn't the physical journey. It's overcoming the beliefs we've quietly accepted for years. One of the most dangerous of these beliefs is the idea that neurodegeneration is inevitable with age, that the slow decline of our movements, the tremors, the shuffling walk, the blank facial expressions, all hallmark signs of Parkinson's, are just part of growing old. But this is a myth, and it's time we set it aside. Dr. Goldhamer often reminds his patients that the human body is designed for resilience, even in our later years, even after the early signs of Parkinson's appear. The brain and body retain a remarkable capacity for recovery if we provide the right environment. And creating that environment starts with breaking free from another deeply ingrained myth that medications alone will save us. While conventional medicine plays an important role, particularly in managing advanced symptoms, it often overlooks the underlying lifestyle factors quietly fueling the progression of neurological diseases. Hydration is one of those factors, one that's been hiding in plain sight. Consider this: the human brain is nearly 75% water. Every electrical impulse that fires across your neurons, every thought, every controlled movement, depends on that fluid environment being perfectly balanced. When hydration falls short, not just in volume, but in quality, your brain becomes vulnerable to inflammation, oxidative stress, and the slow starvation of essential nutrients. It's like trying to run a high-performance engine on low-quality fuel. At first, you might not notice the damage, but over time, the wear and tear become unavoidable. The sputtering starts. The breakdown is inevitable. And unless you change the quality of the fuel, no amount of external repairs will keep that engine running smoothly. That's why so many people living with Parkinson's feel trapped in a cycle of medication adjustments, trying to keep up with symptoms that seem to creep forward no matter what they do. But what if the missing piece isn't just another pill, but a return to something far simpler? Something as fundamental as restoring the natural mineral balance within every cell of your body. This is where a powerful, but often overlooked practice comes in: intermittent fasting with structured hydration. Dr. Goldhamer's clinical experience has shown that when patients combine mineral-rich hydration with periods of gentle fasting, remarkable things begin to happen. Inflammation markers drop, insulin sensitivity improves, and critically, the body initiates a process called autophagy. Its natural, built-in detox system that clears away damaged cells and misfolded proteins like alpha-synuclein, which are directly linked to Parkinson's disease progression. Think of autophagy as your body's janitorial crew, working quietly in the background to clean up the cellular debris that clouds brain function and impairs movement. And guess what activates this healing process most effectively? Not another supplement, not another expensive therapy, but simply giving your body the space to heal itself through fasting and nourishing hydration. If you're new to fasting, start gently. Even a 12-hour overnight fast dinner at 7 p.m., breakfast at 7 a.m. can begin to trigger these healing pathways. During those fasting hours, focus on pure mineral-enriched water. Let it flush through your system, supporting the delicate detoxification processes your body initiates during rest. As you become more comfortable, you can extend that fasting window gradually. And always listen to your body. This is not about deprivation. It's about creating space for healing. And remember, hydration during fasting isn't just about avoiding hunger. It's about consciously supporting the body's natural electrical balance. Herbal teas rich in magnesium and calming compounds like chamomile or lemon balm can provide additional nervous system support. Add a squeeze of fresh lemon and a tiny pinch of sea salt to your water to keep electrolytes steady. Small daily rituals like this can transform the way your body handles stress, reduce the internal inflammation, quietly driving neurological decline, and help restore the graceful coordination that Parkinson's so often steals. But perhaps the most important lesson Dr. Goldhamer teaches is this: healing is not a miracle reserved for the lucky few. It's the natural outcome when you remove what harms and provide what heals. You are not powerless in this journey. Every sip you take, every food you choose, every moment you dedicate to your body's restoration, these are the building blocks of your recovery. And no matter how far the disease has progressed, no matter how hopeless it may sometimes feel, there is always a path forward. One that leads not just to better health, but to renewed hope, restored dignity, and the freedom to move through life with confidence once again. If you've stayed with me this far, it means a part of you still believes in that possibility that hope is not just a fragile wish, but a decision you can make every single day. And that decision begins right now, not with something complicated or out of reach, but with the most basic, life-giving element on Earth, water. But this time, you'll approach it differently. You'll look at that glass of water not as a simple habit, but as a healing ritual. With every sip, you're no longer just quenching thirst. You're restoring balance, calming inflammation, and sending a powerful message to your body that you are choosing life over decline. And here's the final, empowering truth I want you to carry with you: the science of neuroplasticity. The brain's incredible ability to rewire and heal never fully shuts down. Even in the later stages of life, even in the presence of disease, your brain retains the ability to build new connections, to form new habits, and yes, to recover function that seemed lost. But it needs your help. And that help comes in the form of daily, conscious practices, starting with the way you hydrate and nourish your nervous system. Let me share a story that Dr. Goldhamer often recounts from his clinic. One of his patients, a 68-year-old retired schoolteacher named Richard, arrived at True North with a formal diagnosis of early-stage Parkinson's. His right hand trembled uncontrollably. His gait was unsteady. He struggled to write his own name. Like so many others, he was told by his doctors to prepare for the inevitable decline. But Richard wasn't ready to give up. Under Dr. Goldhamer's guidance, he embraced a radically simple program, a plant-based diet rich in minerals, structured hydration, supervised fasting, and daily movement therapy. Within weeks, the tremors began to lessen, his balance improved, and perhaps most astonishingly, after 3 months, Richard stood before his family and wrote a short, steady letter, something he hadn't been able to do for over a year. Now, was this a miracle? No. It was the natural result of removing the toxic habits that were accelerating his decline and giving his body and brain the nourishment they were so desperately asking for. This is the hope I want you to hold on to. Not blind optimism, but real, tangible, science-backed hope. The kind that grows stronger every time you choose mineral-rich hydration over empty beverages. Every time you add a handful of greens to your plate. Every time you take a mindful walk instead of sitting still in frustration. And above all, every time you remind yourself that you are not a passive observer in your health. You are the author of this next chapter. Whether you're standing at the beginning of this journey or somewhere deep within it, you can always turn the page toward healing. So, as we bring this time together to a close, I ask you to do one final thing. Stand up. Feel the ground beneath your feet. Take a slow, deep breath. Reach for a glass of water, and just any water, but healing water, filled with the minerals that will nourish and protect you. And as you drink it, say to yourself out loud if you can, I choose life, I choose healing, and I will move forward, because you can, and you will. Thank you for sharing this journey with me today. If you found hope here, don't keep it to yourself. Share this message with someone you love, because healing is always more powerful when it's shared. Until we meet again, stay strong, stay hopeful, and remember